joy, oh. What a great pleasure to meet once again. What a great pleasure to meet each other. What a great pleasure to meet old schoolmates. What a great pleasure to meet old classmates. After many years, women.
After many years.
Whoa.
After many years.
Yeah.
After many years.
My brother.
Auntie, after many years.
My sister.
After many years.
My father.
After many years.
Oh,
After many years.
enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself,
My brother.
enjoy yourself,
My sister.
enjoy yourself,
My father.
enjoy
My
yourself,
sister.
enjoy yourself,
Are we good to go, Abdul? All right. It's another Saturday evening. A very warm welcome to Bamenda, Cameroon, wherever you are. We're glad to welcome you to another edition of the BD Show that today celebrates our fabric designers, a group of dynamic men and women who've decided to put together their creativity by cutting pieces of cloths or doing whatever thing with what, with, I don't know whether you prefer me, you want me to call material or tissue, whatever, to make sure that we look really good. I don't know whether I look bad this evening, but this dress was made in Bamenda, so, and I really feel good in it. I really feel very good in it. So, I don't know how you feel, but accept our greetings from Mirror Entertainment. We're thinking about all of you around the world, and we continue to remember those who are, by every day, losing their lives as a cause of the crisis affecting my region and my city. We're thinking about them in a very special way, and we'll continue to pray for a peaceful repose of their souls. That said, we're glad to be with you again. And as you know, my city is known very well for the creativity of our fabric designers. Many of them. We have a particular attire that is known to us. We may not have time to discuss that particular attire today in terms of symbol, in terms of fabrication, in terms of quality and everything. But let's discuss fashion designing in my city as a whole. It's such an industry that is doing really well. It is doing very well, in the global sense, but in the heart of a crisis, I'm convinced it may not be doing well as it was supposed to be doing. But there are still a couple of people who are making an effort to keep the image, to keep the industry moving, and to make sure that we don't move naked. Of course, since I made a decision to permanently wear what is made in my city, it may not be permanent, but I think more than 75% of my wares are made in my city. I noticed that I had even a different frame of mind. This happens to many cultures around the world. Costumes, traditional costumes, or attires, or outfit, or whatever you decide to call them, once they come from your ethnic group, your geographical location, you realize that you have a sense of comfort when you wear them. But how is it done? What inspired people to get into it? That's why we're privileged to bring to you today an interesting person who decided to get into this business. She's been into it for some time, training lots of young people, helping them also find a life or make a living out of this very interesting industry. And I'm glad to introduce to you today's guest, who is a very pretty lady, if I must use the description, both from the heart and from the outside. She accepted to be on our show today to help us understand the fabric designing industry or the dressmaking industry in the simplest terms in my city. Of course, they are doing really well. This is my guest.
What a joy, what a joy, what a great pleasure to meet once again.
Hello, my name is Nfor Florence alias Florentino, the fashion designer. I'll be on the BD show come Saturday. I'm waiting for you guys.
Enjoy
yourself, enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself.
Florentino is her artistic name, if I use that description. And we're glad to have her in the studio. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
How does it feel like? You're looking the blue, the blonde, the yellow, everything looks just okay.
Thank you. I
Man.
feel good. It's good looking. It's good looking good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this from your
Yeah.
your lap?
I made it myself, and a blend of Western material and the African material. So
Yeah.
so that it should be there should be some sort of uniqueness.
Okay. And just to say the least, it looks just exceptional. One would not imagine that it's made in my city, but trust me, it's made here. I told you before that mine is made here too, right? So we're just loving how we look this Saturday evening. And I don't know if you're not wearing something from the Northwest, that what you're wearing at this point in time. So, ma'am, just very quickly, I'm told that you come from Dongamanto.
Yes, I come from Dongamanto. I'm precisely from Ndu.
Okay. Yeah, Ndu, an amazing people. I think I have a couple of friends from Ndu who are doing very well, particularly in journalism. I know many of them.
Okay.
We want to tell us something special about the people of Ndu?
Well, they are actually nice people. They are creative, especially in the fashion industry. We have a good number of them in and out of Cameroon who are doing very well.
Okay.
In the fashion design industry. They know what is good for the body, and they know how to do it and do it well. I have a good number of them around.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel when they call you Bamenda woman? Though you come from Ndu, you come far off. I mean, Ndu is so many kilometers away from here.
Very proud. Very
Okay.
proud. There are a lot of things that could have made me to move out of Bamenda, but I just so love the place that I can't go to anywhere and feel like I can feel in Bamenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. This is interesting. So what makes you love this city so much?
Well, it's my city. I love it. I love the people. I love the culture. The people are very welcoming. They are very, very welcoming.
Yeah.
So I love being around them. I love them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it feels really very natural to discover that you can just love something and you won't want to part ways with it. I don't know what you people call love these days, but this one, the one she shares looks very natural. You know. Yes. So that said, you are into fashion designing. Confirm?
Yes, I am.
You do that for part-time or full-time?
Well, I don't know how. I don't really want to say I do it for part-time, but it has helped me to expand in the area of education.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I've gone further with my education because it has actually helped me. Like the finances I get from it has helped me to acquire my education and go quite further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. And to say it just very quickly, is one of the very few fashion designers we have in our town at a very acceptable level, I must say. It's a postgraduate, right? You're at postgraduate level now, right?
PhD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's fine. So let's just, so that's to tell you the quality of guest that we have in our studio today is not just an honorary fabric designer, but someone who knows exactly why she is in the industry. All right, what inspired you into that industry, please?
Sorry?
What inspired you into fabric designing, into dressmaking?
Growing up as a child, I used to love working with my hands. I remember that I could knit a very beautiful hat with wool and I wore it, you know. I used to, you know, take dolls and make dresses and put on their body. And so I just realized that from there, my field was going to be fashion designing. Then I so happened to have grown up with a very smart woman who also saw that in me, Miss Marie Oben, and she said, okay, she needs to go do fashion designing.
Okay.
Because at first she used to say, no, maybe I should send you to my friend to do hairdressing. But when she saw what I was capable of doing with my hands, she said, no, you need to go do the fashion designing. And so that's how I now perfected the skills.
That sounds interesting, and definitely this, apart from your education, you can feel the impact in other parts of your life, right?
Sure.
The impact of your work as a fashion designer.
Sure.
You want to share with us? Maybe just the way you look now. I'm not too sure you buy dresses anymore.
No, I can't have an official outing. I can't have an outing, or when I'm going to school, I put on something that is not made by me. Or if I'm going to church, I cannot put on something that is not made by me. I must put on something that is made by me. And when I go out too, I feel so proud with the customers I have dressed.
Yeah.
They look good. I admire my work on them.
I see. Are you transferring this knowledge already?
Sure, I have transferred it to so many young girls in and out of Bamenda based now. There are a good number of them in Douala, Yaoundé, Limbe, in the north. And some even out of Cameroon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Only girls?
Only ladies, yeah.
Why?
I
The
don't
reason
know.
for that?
I don't really have any reason for that. I just feel that maybe boys feel a type to come and be learning work from a lady.
Well, I don't want to conclude that my boys like Okada, but
yeah, that's something that has
it will be
really
important. It will be important
that's something that has really taken off their time. They just believe in that quick money. When they climb on the Okada, by evening they'll have some francs to share or eat. That's all they rely on. And the boy children, they have really reduced the rate at which they used to learn how to learn a trade.
Yeah.
And even the sewing itself.
Let's be a little specific about this. What are the kind of dresses that you people do? I see you with a gown.
Yeah, I make dresses for both men and women. I do what you have on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sew dresses for babies. I sew wedding gowns.
Okay.
Yeah, I sew dresses that they can bury even the dead.
Which means practically we're doing everything right now.
Yes, I do general sewing. Yeah, I sew suits, both men and women.
Just to let you know that what caught my attention on her was the fact that she's the first person I saw doing a local mask with some material that looks like our local material. I mean, our local fabric. It looks like one of the cultural fabric that we have. And I took a couple of them, and she's the person who did my first locally made face mask in the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. So I don't know what, but this is where we get a difference. And I think that is where sometimes education has a direct impact on some of these professions, because you're able to respond directly to immediate needs of society. Do you feel same?
Yeah, yes, I know.
So what quickly came to your mind that you could be doing face mask?
Well, I like we are saying, I love Bamenda, I love my city, I love my culture. I wanted us to do something, to put on something done by us, not just importing what is out there. It's good sometimes we can mix, but at least if there is a means for us to produce ours here, I prefer that. And that's why when there was the outbreak of the COVID, I quickly ran and made mine with the fabric from here.
All right. So can we say that your trainees are successful now?
Yeah.
You want to share some of their stories with us, success stories?
They are. I have a girl in Douala, she's called Matilda. I'm sure she's even bigger than me here.
That's
and
interesting.
I have one in Limbe Rose, she's doing well. There's Mami, there's one in Boya. I want to call the name of her child Mami To.
Yeah.
She's in Boya, she's doing really well. She sews for the students, she sews around for people around. She's doing really great. Her name is Caroline.
Yeah.
She's doing really great.
Okay.
And I can't name the number that I have here. There are so many of them.
Oh, fantastic. So what is the collaboration between the fabric designers in our city?
Well, we have an association that has been running for quite some time now, close to 15 or 20 years. We have an association.
Okay.
Yeah, we come together every Friday. We have a meeting, but with the crisis, it hasn't really been as serious as it used to be, but we still have it every Friday at 11 o'clock.
How relevant was that? I mean, to the industry, was that very relevant? I mean, the association.
It's very relevant, because when we started, we used to have, when there was peace, we used to have trainers who come from abroad. There are some unique things that I do on my dresses, because they used to order, you know, fashion designers from Europe to come and have some training workshop with us, and we gained a lot from that. So the association was really a necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But today not possible.
It is not possible for us to bring in trainers because, you know, with the crisis, anything can happen to somebody who has come from abroad for no reason. So.
Now, is it? Do you also share knowledge within you? Because, for example, or share knowledge or competencies. I know instances where one person may not be too good in this, and the other person can help. I remember sometimes I'll give this, and then someone will say my zigzag machine has a problem. He has to call somebody to do it for him. You know, A has to do this, and B has to do marking and things like that.
Sure. Like the traditional outfit. It's rather unfortunate I didn't bring some here. When I sew the dress, I give it out for those who do only the embroidery.
Okay.
Yeah, then I take it back and iron and couple and assemble the
embroidery. Which one is that? Is that what they call marking?
The local embroidery.
What they do with thread and marking to get the different colors.
Embroidery.
That's what I wanted, so that my people understand exactly what we're talking about. Embroidery, you know, those different threads you see on our togo and things like that is done, you know. All right, that's fine. Don't mind the PhD students. He wants to be very formal, and you know. That's it. Now, do you think that these ready-made dresses from different countries being used here has an impact on your work?
Sure, it does. It does. But all I know is that if you do your work well, the dresses that are imported will not challenge your work. Your work will stand out. And people would still love to come for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are the challenges you're facing for now?
Well, some people still love going for it because maybe you have your party to attend, and you know the time frame that I might give you.
Okay.
Yeah. You might not have that time to wait, and you have to run for what has already been made. So, but I think another idea could still be that, if not because of the crisis, we could have our shops where we make the dresses and we put there, so that if you come, you're rushing for your occasion, you don't have time to wait for what I'm still to make. You can pick up one from there.
Yeah.
And use.
Okay. That sounds interesting. So I don't know if you're interested in wearing some of our dresses. We have them around, but you need to be a little patient with us. Place your order with time, within the right time, within the right time frame, and surely be patient, and you have them properly done.
For sure.
Yeah. When we talk about the solidity, I mean the solid nature of the dresses, you think that you can actually compare with what is foreign?
Yes, well, I know that what we do is actually solid. First, I'll go for the best fabric.
Yeah.
So I will not go for the cheap one. Sometimes with the ready-made, they just take any kind of material and sew. But if I have to make a dress for somebody around that I'll always admire, I would like to go in for good fabric, and I take my time to do it neatly. Yeah. So that the person should enjoy it. And when I even meet the person, I will be proud of what I've done. Yeah. Yeah.
And the advantages of this also is that you make the choices yourself. How you want which tissue to be which way, whether you want this one here. These are the advantages you have. Sure. But sometimes when you buy ready-made, you don't have the luxury of choosing sometimes even the color. You don't, you can't. You don't even have the opportunity to choose. Talk less of the design, the style, and every other thing that goes with it. If you're just joining us, this is the BD Show. We're coming to you live from Bamenda this Saturday evening. It's a production of Miro Entertainment. And of course, we are glad to have Flor with us. She's doing an amazing job, of course, as a fashion designer, and she's been sharing lots of interesting things already with us. But we know also that she lives in a society that she loves. She talks about her love for Bamenda so strongly, and I'm sure that discussing other societal issues will not be certainly a bad idea. Just very quickly. You talked about your love for Bamenda, and you've been very specific about the things that make you love Bamenda. But can you think that we look like a city already?
No. There's a lot, especially the road infrastructure. It's horrible. Security, horrible, because of the crisis, probably. But the roads are really, 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 really horrible. It's really horrible. But I think that maybe with the work or in collaboration with the city council,
Yeah.
just locally we can do something to improve on the roads, or even the state. Why not? We're expecting a lot from them.
All right. You talked about the things that make you love our city already. You want to add something that makes us very different from other people?
I don't think there is.
All right. All right. Thank you. Now let's look at you. You're a very empowered woman, if I may use that description. At least for now, you're very and very sufficiently empowered professionally. And what is your take generally about the empowered nature of our girls in our community here?
Well,
Do you think they are very empowered?
they are not really empowered as we expect, but I think that the girl child really has to be empowered, because an empowered society or an educated society is a developed society. You know, we need to empower the girl child through education. We educate our girl child, I mean, we have a better society, we have a better Bamenda tomorrow. Why not?
Could it be the reason why you train only girls? Because you want to empower women?
Not really, not really. I already explained that I don't have any limitations of, not training a boy child, but they don't usually come. They prefer to go to the male tailors. So, but I take the ones that come to me, and when I do, I don't only train them with the skills of sewing. I tell them how important education is. You should not limit yourself. You should expand your horizon. Think big. Just like I started from sewing, and look at where I am in terms of education. So I mean, that's what I usually tell them.
If I ask you to appreciate the level of gender-based violence in our community, what would be your rating?
Well, it's still at a high rate, because, like I said, the girl child is not yet very empowered in terms of education. Because you know that if a girl child is educated, that child will know that these are the do's and don'ts of the society, and maybe knows how to respect what is supposed to be respected. Sometimes ignorance can cause you to act in such a way that a man can violate you. But if you are aware of what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do, you avoid that too.
Okay. Now, I don't know whether you can share some instances, but we've had cases where brutality in marital homes is very common. When I follow local PG news in the city every day, it's almost like it's a recurrent happening. It's like, beating of wives, beating of girls, it's almost like beating it becoming a habit. Most often on our radio. Do you have some of these cases?
Well, I don't really have, but I think, and I'm still repeating, a girl child needs to be emancipated. If she is, she'll know what to do. Maybe for her husband not to raise his hand on her. And besides, if you have a woman who is educated in whatever aspect that she is, she will know how to handle things much better than if she is not educated.
Okay. Two things I want you to give me your position on. Is it mandatory for women to marry?
It is not mandatory, but it's a necessity.
Will you mind explaining?
Well, sometimes some people get into marriages and they don't end up very successful. And you end up suffering and suffering and suffering. So in that case, it's not mandatory. It's rather you stay alone and stay alive than to die in somebody's home. And then it's necessary because, it's good for, God created it. It's good for a woman to live under a man with whom they understand. each other. Yeah. If you have a husband who understands you and you understand him, there will never be a day for violence between you, because you know that, okay, this is what my husband likes, this is what he doesn't like. I have to do this to avoid it. He has to do it too, what I don't like, to avoid us quarreling. I mean.
So if we were to look at how society looks at unmarried women in our community, what do you want to tell us? I mean, do you think that they see them from your perspective? Because from your perspective, it's normal not to marry. Particularly in a case where you've not found someone, you're convinced that this person is understanding, the person can be loving enough, and you decide to say, okay, let me stay. But do you think society looks at you okay?
Well, our society, maybe some people look at it that way, but if you have experienced what I've just explained, like you have a husband or a wife with whom you cannot live in peace, it's rather you live alone and live in peace than to live with that kind of a person.
That kind of a person.
Yeah.
What about childbearing? I know that my reason for asking you this question is because I know that women, so far, most in our cultures, when issues of childbearing come up and there's a marriage that has no fruit of the womb, you realize that the person who takes the blame is the woman. Is that okay?
Well, yeah, and most often the woman takes the blame. But childbearing is good. It's necessary. It's very good. It's necessary. But if it so happens that you people can't have a child, it's not a matter of killing another person. Because sometimes you can even blame the woman when it's not her fault.
Yeah.
All of you need to go to the hospital, have yourself checked medically, and see if there's a problem with one of you.
Yeah.
But usually they just blame it on the woman. That's gender inequality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you think that we should not blame it on the woman, right?
No, we should do a proper checkup
To establish what happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we need to. We need to. And that's why I will still come back. Education is the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you have typical African homes that think that the fruit of the womb is a symbol of the family. Now, if it doesn't happen, what do you think can happen?
Well, it will depend on the couple. It will depend
Will you advise a breakaway?
Well, I don't know. According to the Bible, it's not good.
Yes.
Yeah, but so it will depend on the couple.
Well, in primary school, when they are teaching us about family, they tell us that, when I ask my son that, boy, what is a family? Boy, there is father, mother, and children. And so when there is no child in the family, it cannot be family. It's a hard line to understand this. All right, so we're talking to Florentino. She is a fabric designer. Or what has happened to the word seamstress?
I don't know.
That one is almost disappearing.
Yeah, because the world is evolving.
Okay.
Even language too. Language is changing by the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are things that even as I do language, there are things that we used to refuse at first, but now we accept them. There are things that we were never aware of, but they have now come into play, and we are using it, and we are comfortable using them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We want to share with us something about your religion. Are you into Judaism, Christianity, Islam?
I'm a Christian, and I'm a Baptist Christian.
Okay.
Yeah, I love.
The way you raised your voice on this subject means that you're a convinced Baptist.
Very convinced. Yeah.
Wow.
I love my religion.
Sorry, I won't ask you what made you that convinced, but I'm happy that somebody
I grew up in it.
Okay.
From a child, I used to sing in the children's choir, belong to the Children's New Life Club, belong to the youth choir. Now I sing in the Emmanuel Baptist choir. So I love
Wow, Emmanuel Baptist choir is an interesting choir. I don't know whether I'll have the opportunity to have them on my show one day, but it's an interesting choir.
You will have.
I just love the choir. They sing so well. So we're thinking about all members of the Emmanuel Baptist choir. I've been there. I've watched you sing severally. They used to be my friend. We lost him some time ago. Okay. He used to work up there at the Baptist. Yes. So we lost him some time ago. We regret his departure, but we're thinking about all of you members of the Emmanuel Baptist Choir today. When you're sick, what kind of medication do you take?
Mixed. I'm an African.
Okay.
I can go to the hospital if I'm diagnosed of anything that is wrong with me. I take the chemicalized drugs, and I take the non-chemicalized drugs, which is what we have here in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So, have you taken your COVID vaccine? She laughed. I don't want her to. I'm sure you're imagining the answer already. Florentina is here with us. She's been sharing her thoughts on a couple of issues already. Amongst them, the fact that she comes from Ndo. She loves where she comes from. She fell in love at a very young age with fabric designing. Today, she is a well-known, established fabric designer with lots of trainees and very successful trainees to her credit. She's trained many of them. Today, she describes her work as a source of empowerment that has helped her to acquire education as we speak. She just informs us that she is taking her terminal degree currently, and that's her PhD, and that's quite strong. She believes that there is need for women and girls to be empowered, and this definitely can take them out of instances of gender-based violence. She's a committed Baptist. She believes very much about that, and she feels that Bamenda needs to be improved upon on matters of security, matters of road infrastructure. She's also particularly convinced about the choices we make in issues of marriage and childbearing. In as much as they are necessities, she thinks that, well, in instances where they cannot happen, I mean, when one cannot marry, because you didn't find someone suitable enough, of course, you should be given the freedom to live happily like any other person. She says she has the same thought in unions that are not able to have the fruits of the womb and many other areas. Well, she thinks that there is much to improve in our city, and at the level of her practice of fabric designing, there's plenty of collaboration between them in the city of Bamenda, those of them in the industry in the city of Bamenda. She's also convinced that but for the crisis, there would have been better collaboration because they had a lot of mentoring from other parts of the world. And she feels that as it is right now, they can produce just the kind of dresses that fits for every occasion with the solid nature, as solid as a word that you can use at any point in time. I don't know whether I left out something from the summary of our conversation this far.
No, I don't think so. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you're watching us now and you want to leave a word for young women and girls who are in the heart of a crisis, and you're thinking about young women and girls. I'm not sure you're new to our town. When you move around our city, you see quite a good number of them seemingly not involved in anything gainful. They have elected a kind of lifestyle that look quite easy, like you talked about the men, but we're seeing a majority of women who are into this. You're going to be leaving a word for these girls. What do you think about them? Someone told me the other day that the problem comes from the parents. If you start from the parents on their relationship with the girls and how they bring them up, and then the girls, that will be fine for us.
Okay, well, I think that the parents first, they need to train their children, because some have just taken advantage of the fact that there's a crisis. They don't even want to pay fees. They are not ready to pay fees. They just want to leave the children in the house. Fine, if you want to leave the child in the house, why not send the child to come and learn how to do something with his or her hands that can later maybe provide for the person as it did for me to further his or her education. You should do that. It is very necessary. It is very necessary that everybody has something to do. Imagine, even if you get married to somebody who has a very lucrative business and he dies along the way, how are you going to bring up his children that he has left with you? You need something doing in order to take care of those children, for them to become people tomorrow.
Yeah. So you're talking to the girls themselves now?
The girls themselves, they need to be serious even when they are sent to school. They need to be serious and learn, or when they are sent to learn the trade, they need to be serious with what they are doing, so that at least tomorrow you can put food on their tables. Yeah.
All right, I think we can leave it here for today. We're particularly grateful to all of you who took off time to follow this conversation. The conversation was meant to celebrate the fabric designing industry in my city, that's the city of Bamenda. It was also intended to have a woman who has worked hard to get herself empowered, address many other women and the entire community. Let's see how we can take our girls out of the challenges they are facing currently as a result of the crisis that we're currently going through. Of course, I'm not sure you regret having her here in her studios. Don't forget the program was brought to you by Miro Entertainment, and you can write to us at the bdshow360@gmail.com, and we'll always reply you promptly. Our YouTube channel is available. The dedicated YouTube channel is available, and we can always do our premiere. We'll be premiering on our Facebook page on Saturday, and for today we'll premiere every Saturday. So want to thank you for watching this edition that had Florentino as our guests, of course, and to every member of our team, want to thank you very sincerely for the dedication shown towards this program. Keep writing as you've been doing. Thank you for all the comments from around the world. Please, we're particularly grateful. We'd like to hear from you again and again. Well, sorry we didn't have something too big for you, but each time you come, we don't have anything much. We always want to have a small sticker on your back to indicate that you were here. It could be on your phone, anywhere you want. We would like you to remember that you stopped by. Stars like you, when you visit us, we want you to go along with some little thing from us to remember us. I don't know where I can stick it. This beautiful handbag.
Stick it.
I have the feeling that this handbag was also made in my town. So, so anybody who is jealous, you can be jealous. Please, can you stand? Somebody didn't see your dress complete. Some people didn't see your dress complete. So while you're standing, just help me with the back so I can stick my...
Okay.
Yes. So I can just have a small sticker here. Please just have it for the shortest time you can. I know it's going to change the makeup. So just have it for today maybe. And a couple of days if you like. So we're telling you that I was on the BD show. So I want to thank you very sincerely for coming.
I'll have it as long as it can stay there.
Thank you very much for coming, ma'am. We're grateful.
Welcome.
What a joy, what a great pleasure to meet once again. What a great pleasure to meet each other. What a great pleasure to meet old schoolmates. What a great pleasure to meet old classmates. After many years, women.
After many years.
Whoa.
After many years.
Yeah.
After many years.
My brother.
Auntie, after many years.
My sister.
After many years.
My father.
After many years.
Oh,
After many years.
Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself,
My brother.
enjoy
My
yourself,
sister.
enjoy yourself,
My father.
enjoy
My
yourself,
sister.
enjoy yourself, so.